Congratulations, you finished up the shard event and now you have access to unlimited porters, but you have no idea what you want to use those porters on. Well, I'm here to help because in this video, we're going to review what we talked about after the Vorkath Unlimited Porter event, and I'm going to give you 5 new amazing ways to use your porter buff. Previously, we talked about the top 8 ways to use your unlimited porter buff on your Iron Man. And if you'd like more details, be sure to click that card in the top right to check out that entire video. First and foremost, we talked about maxing your gathering skills. That means trading fishing, mining, woodcutting, hunter, and archaeology at your highest level spot in order to get the most XP possible. Next up, we talked about hunting your archaeology weapons. That means going to the Bando Sanctum debris at 115 archaeology in the Warforge, or digging at any of the 3 hotspots at the Paratorium excavation sites in Karadet in order to hunt for your Spirit Tip and Annihilation or any of your 3 pieces of the Inquisitor's staff respectively. Hunting for these items definitely burns through a ton of porters, so this is a great opportunity to basically get one of your weapon pieces for absolutely free. We then talked about using your porter buff in order to gain a massive stack of binding contracts, both in an AFK way and a very active way. The AFK way had us getting our Blood of Orcus from the Ancient Magic Munition spot at level 107 archaeology and getting our Hellfire Metal from the Hellfire Forge at level 104 archaeology. The non-AFK version had us collecting way more binding contracts in an hour by going over to material caches to collect those supplies. However, we would have to pay way more attention. Next up, we had collecting food for PVM with the use of the bait and switch relic. First, we had an AFK version of going to the swarm fishing spot to get a ton of variety in our kinds of fish for PVM. But with that, we would end up getting a low amount of the fish we need most, blue beveler jellyfish. We also have a slightly less AFK version, which is going to the specific fish spot in order to get a specific kind of fish. Next up, we talked about collecting your ores for the Masterwork armor. A full set of Masterwork will require 13,242 different ores. That's a lot of porters burned for an armor that's not really the best, but we do need. So be sure, if you haven't finished up your Masterwork armor, to collect all the ores that you will need for it. Afterwards, we talked about using your porter buff in order to get all the sandstone you need for your blessed flask. As a reminder, if you break down each and every sandstone block you can get, you'll need to mine a total of 89,000 different sandstone blocks in order to get your blessed flask. That being said, unless you really want a blessed flask, I would recommend against doing this because the blessed flask isn't overly useful. Although when you do get it, you'll probably take it with you everywhere. After that, we talked about using your porter buff to go collect some cave nightshade. Just a reminder that while cave nightshades are not needed in massive quantities because how long a weapon poison lasts for, just spending a couple hours doing this will set you up in between porter events to never have to collect more nightshade for weapon poisons. And finally, we talked about using your porter buff in combat in order to kill muspas, nightmare creatures, and nihils in order to mass collect a ton of muspa spines for muspa familiars as well as nihil items for nihil familiars. Moving on, let's give you 5 more amazing ways to use your porter buff. The first one may sound a little bit strange, but I would argue using your porter buff in order to mine pure essence is a great way of using that porter buff. I decided to run a quick test when I unlocked my porter buff, where I went to the rune essence mine and clicked 1 time and walked away from my computer and let my character AFK collect my pure essence until it logged me out. In that 15-minute time frame, 100% AFK, I had collected 1,380 pure essence, meaning you'll be collecting 5,500 pure essence per an hour at bare minimum. Now, this might not be as great as something like Abbey Demons, that gives us around 10,000 pure essence per an hour. However, collecting pure essence in this manner is completely AFK, requiring only 4 clicks every hour. On top of that, we have 110 rune crafting coming out very, very soon, so we'll want a huge stack of pure essence in the near future. Next up, we have Training Hunter at the Corrosis Front. Training Hunter here should net you anywhere between 400,000 to 2 million experience per an hour, depending on how you decide to train. Not only that, you'll get the valuable Bic Troves, which has a chance to give you the Bic Pages. With an average loot value of 600k per tier 3 trove, that alone would give you around 6 million coins per an hour if you're a main. The main downside to this training method requires you to be dropping all your fungal spores and your enriched fungal spores, or burning through a ton of porters in order to collect these items. However, obviously with unlimited porters, that nixes this issue. If you're planning on doing this method in order to use your porter buff, I'd also highly recommend going to the Memorial of Guthix and activating the Decree of Mortality buff. This buff will let you get memory shards, which will help you future-proof yourself in getting more porters when the event is done. If you want more information, be sure to click that card in the top right. Another awesome use of your porter buff is actually trading woodcutting instead at the Corrosive front. This may not be the best woodcutting XP method, however, we don't need to porter the items that we get, and we also get the side benefit of continuing to get those big troves. Personally, I find the Corrosive front to be a great AFK method, specifically because the resource plots come back super quickly, meaning you'll have minimum downtime and you don't have to ever move your mouse. My next recommendation for using your porter buff is actually hunting Tetra compass pieces. The cool part about this is you can actually combine this with something else that I had recommended in the previous video, which is hunting for your archaeology weapons. This is because arguably one of the best ways in order to get Tetra compass pieces is by finishing the Red Rum Relics 3 archaeology collection. This collection requires 4 different items. 3 of those items are grabbed from the Bandos Sanctum debris in the Warforged dig site, which is where you get the Spear Tip of Annihilation as well. So you can spend about 3/4 of your time grabbing those 3 specific items and then head over to the makeshift pie oven to go grab yourself a DeBoss Man sculpture. After that event's done, finish as many of those items as you can to get as many Tetra compass pieces as you need. Although prior to the event being done, I would try to make sure you have all the colors you need as well to make those Tetra compass pieces. Tetra compasses are a great way to make sure you always have the archaeology materials that you need to finish any items that you need to make, as well as get you a good amount of binding contracts for absolutely free. And finally, we have future-proofing your porter needs. This has us going to the concentrated gold ore deposits and mining all the gold ore that we will ever need. With this, I'd highly recommend having gold stone spirits, as well as either a perfect plus or a perfect juju mining potion, as well as a regular juju mining potion as well. With these buffs, you'll be able to mine the concentrated gold ore completely AFK and get a ton of extra gold ore as well. If you're already at the top end of PVM and already do all the end game bosses, you probably won't need to mine any more gems, specifically because all the uncut dragon stones that you should have in your bank. However, if not, you'll also want to take yourself to the uncommon gem rocks in Al Kharid in order to mine some more gems as well. Combining the both of these together, you should have enough uncut gems as well as gold ore in order to never need to farm those 2 items in order to make more porters in the future. And we all know how important porters actually are. And there you have it, 5 more amazing ways to use your unlimited porter buff. I want to take this time to also say, if you've been watching my 1 item challenge, the next episode on that challenge will take a little bit of time to come out. And that's because I've been not only getting a little bit unlucky on the item that I'm currently hunting, but my schedule has also been absolutely crazy with a ton of work at my normal business and day job, as well as a ton of other stuff that I'm personally working on as well. I've also had a bit of an urge to play on my main just to make sure that I can keep getting content out while I'm stuck on doing stuff on that challenge. So hopefully my uploads will be more frequent again. So those of you who actually do enjoy my content will be able to get some more content from me as well. So if you do enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. So I want to say thanks for being patient, and you'll see that next episode very soon. In the meantime, I want to say thanks for watching, and if you're interested in the original top 8 ways to use your porter buff, be sure to click on the video on screen now. Thanks for watching. As always, have a wonderful day.